Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo! Welcome back to the channel, and they're back! It's the Borgmadas you've been waiting so fondly for, and now that they're here, we're going to talk about crewing your ship with the proper crew loadouts to take them down, including very handy information if you're running as a group. Yeah, with people. And because what you might have happen is a bunch of vagabonds just come together to form an armada running a cluster of whatever they feel like Captain Plyrite here running this. Don't do this. This is bad. You don't run a hostile crew on a Borgmada. But anyway, this was very easily defeated, as you can see, with a 4 million strength run against a 48 million cube because of the massive bonus you get with the Vidars versus the cube. So what you're going to find is you're able to attack far higher than you would think you would, and that you're used to because of that bonus. But let's talk about the key components of loading out crews and what's going to be important. And I think the big thing for people to keep in mind is the word that we talk about a lot around here: mitigation. And when we talk about phase 1 of combat, because that's what it is, that's what's going to determine how much you're hurting these cubes and how much you're not hurting the cubes. And if you focus on those aspects, you'll find a lot of success. Now, one thing I'm going to do is hop into the officer crew menu and talk about the very first thing you need to do if you're running as a group. If you're running as a group, here's what you need. And everybody probably has these officers by this point. You need at least one person. I would pick the weakest player participating to run 9 of 10 with full synergy. So you got 9 of 10 who is a command officer, needs to have an engineering officer on the side and a science officer on the side. But you want to run this on the weakest ship with full synergy. Now you're asking why? Why would I want to do that? For this captain's ability, when fighting a Borg ship, 9 of 10 decreases the chance of dealing a critical hit of the opponent by 10%. Now, each officer on the side will add 10% of this, creating full synergy, which means a 30% reduction in chance. Why is this important? Let me show you. So glad you asked. So let's take example, this Borg tactical cube. It's a rare, but all the cubes are going to have this in common, right there. Woof. 30% critical chance with a bonus of 300%. Now keep in mind, at level 39, I've only got a 208% bonus and a 12% chance. So you're talking about this thing having basically 3 times the critical chance I do, plus more critical damage when those actually hit. So we want to negate those criticals as much as possible, if at all possible, which is exactly what we're doing here. We're negating that with 9 of 10. So now they don't even launch. We don't have to worry about them, because now we're good. We're gravy. Did somebody lose to this thing? What? How did you lose? We're hitting 30s. It should be so easy if you got just like a tier 7 Vidar. Just run through it. But like I said, you want 9 of 10 with full synergy. Now, remember, you can do this pretty easily. Full synergy with 9 of 10 is not difficult because you can use really low uncommon officers. For example, 8 of 10 is your engineering officer that you need. Bam, bingo, bango. There's one side. And then 7 of 10 is a rare. So there's your crew. 7, 9, 8 with 9 as captain, and that will negate any chance of a critical happening when you're fighting these Borgmadas. Let's move on to the more important crew, though. The most important crew you can run, especially if you're a higher level player or a mid-level player and you've got these ranked up a little bit. 5 of 10 as captain. Bam. 5 of 10. Then this guy, 6 of 10 on the side, and then Kang. So 5 of 10, 6 of 10, Kang. And if you put those 3 together, that's going to be the most optimal. But let's explain why. So we're going to go up to Kang real quick and talk about the bonus. We've talked about Kang before, but let's go in a little bit more detail. Yeah, the thing died. We got to get back into it. So we're talking about Kang's ability, Blood Oath. At the start of the battle, Kang increases the accuracy of the ship by 400% of the attack of the crew of the ship. Now, why is this important? Now, it comes down to mitigation. And essentially, you're going to want Kang and then to stack as much attack as you can on the ship because you're going to be changing mitigation. Now, Gregor ran through these numbers. I went and ran through them as well going through this. And this episode, we're not going to throw in a lot of math because I actually want to add something to the end of this complaining about some of the events. But what you're essentially doing is you're taking mitigation. Remember, phase 1 of the battle. And I'll show you what that is just on a random log. Remember, phase 1 It's going to be this one right here. So you get hit. Here's phase 1 at the top. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So what you're doing is you're doing this or over here actually. You're taking this and you're trying to move that mitigation where you miss 65% and you want to move it to 40% or less. Kang's going to help you do that on a lot of these armadas. So running 5, 6 Kang has been the optimal loadout for that. Now let's say you don't have 5, 6 Kang. And I get it. Not everybody has, especially 6 of 10, let alone 5 of 10. You would like to run a variation of 5 of 10 because remember, 5 of 10 is going to help your mitigation. And one thing about the Vidar is as an interceptor, and like a lot of interceptors, not a lot of hull health, not a lot of survivability. So you want to find a way to make it as much of a survivability ship as you can. And that's what her captain's ability is doing. When increases the shield deflection, armor, and dodge of your ship by the health of the officers. So you see here, and I tell y'all all the time, stack attack, stack health. Well, you're doing both here. And if you have Kang, you're stacking attack as the primary and health as the secondary. If you don't have Kang, then you're stacking health as the primary because you want to make sure that your mitigation is as high as possible. So you're actually taking on less damage, or phase 3, which is the phase that determines whether you die or not. So now that we've taken that into consideration, you want to look at loadouts like such as the wonderful, tried and true, most people have Kirk, Spock, Khan, KSK. If you don't have KSK, you can still run 5 of 10 Kirk, Spock. And those 3 crew loadouts that I've just given you, or 4 technically, are going to be the best ways to kind of get in there and really find the best overall success as your group. Remember, as a group, you want 9 of 10 with full synergy to negate criticals from the cubes. Second of all, if you have it, you want 5 of 10 as captain, 6 of 10, and then Kang. If you don't have that, run Kirk, Spock, Khan. If you don't have a good Khan, or you would rather use your 5 of 10, use 5 of 10 as captain, and then Kirk, Spock on the side. Increasing survivability and relying on the ship bonus to get all that extra versus the Borg. That would be my recommend. Let's jump into these events real quick. Actually, pause. Let's jump into the store real quick because, hey, we know there's going to be store offers. And boy, oh boy, diddly is there. So if we come over to these wonderful places, oh man, Borg Ultra Pack and Mega Cube Pack. Wow, I don't even get offered there's cheaper ones out there, but I don't even get offered them. So here's the Mega Cube. 40 for $100. 4 cubes for $100. Wow. Whoa. And then here we go. 50 Armada directives for $100. Now, what can you launch with that? Well, I'll show you. It does vary based on what you're trying to do. I'm over here in the rare land. We're in rare land. Takes 4. Takes 4. I've got 95 left. Ooh, I'm gonna sneak over here and get in on this one. If we come over to the Epic Land. Epic Land. Epic Land? No, Epic Land. So that'd be like Wajiku. I don't know what's the word. Anyway, if we wanted to launch this bad boy, 10. So you would be paying $100 to launch 5. Wow, expensive. Especially when you jump into this event where Return of the Mega Cube. Our first one is a solo leaderboard for the skin, which DJ was talking about that wasn't what we were going to get. So I don't know if they changed their minds or what, but we got a solo leaderboard event to unlock a skin. Yay. Is it even bracketed in the 2-level brackets like we talked about? Let's take a look. 39. Okay. So, I mean, if it's in at least a bracket range, 35. Okay. So it's not in a 2-level bracket range. Looks like we've got all the players in the 30s in my bracket. So that's wonderful. Maybe even the upper 30s. Then we got in the front lines, destroy armadas, spin directives, defeat Borg probes. So if you want to do the defeat Borg probe options, you're literally going to kill 100 Borg probes, which, as we covered, even for a max Vidar is going to take multiple runs unless you go kill the really small ones over and over and over and over. But that's how you're going to do your tickets. I'm obviously doing the destroy Borgmadas one, as I've now killed 3 rares. And I'll kill another one here. That's the easiest way to go about it. And you can kill these Borgmadas pretty easily. Then you've got an Alliance leaderboard, which gives out independent credits and war funds, and a very little amount of war funds. Then we have the, oh gosh, this thing. Start the Armadas. So 10 points for starting an epic, 4 points for starting a rare. That's going to give you a wonderful requirement of 222 for the top. Holy crap. Yeah. So we need to start 22 epics and 2 uncommons to max out to get a ton of inert nanoprobes. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. It's a 3-day one, though. I mean, it's 3 days. And then finally, the server wild milestone going for War Fund. So the biggest disappointment for me in all this is I'm not really getting anything I need in terms of big War Fund payouts. And then I've got my skin locked behind a paywall. So right now we're doing this just for education's sake, to teach everybody how to do them. But, oh well, I guess. Because remember, the Borgmada rewards themselves are pretty lame. Not much there. Not much there. I've done 3 and I now have 967 inert probes. So hopefully these crews help you out. Hopefully this complaint helps you out. Live long and prosper. Stay safe out there, Space Cowboys. We'll catch you on the next one. Comments down below. Ask me what you know. Ask me what you need to know. And leave feedback for this event. I know it just started, so maybe it gets better. Let's hold back on the craziness. But yeah, I didn't like how this started. Don't like it. An even better outro than the intro. Yeah!